What is up, everybody? This is Omegabalmung, and welcome to part 2 of discussion time with Omegabalmung. This one is about Final Fantasy 15. If you haven't seen my other videos, I did have a first look of the beginning of the game. That one doesn't really count with discussion time, but I did do my first discussion time with Final Fantasy 15 about midway through the game, I want to say. And now this is discussion time part 2 for Final Fantasy 15, and I finally finished the game. And I want to just kind of talk a little bit about the game. I won't do any spoilers or anything like that. I will tell you guys how I feel during the latter half part of the game, but I won't spoil any plot points or anything like that. Like I said, I finally finished the game. I think I clocked it around 57 hours. I think I was about level 55 or 56 or 57. I think it was around there. So I spent my time doing a lot of the side quest missions, a lot of the hunts as usual, and then I just kind of got a little bit tired of it, and I'm just gonna go finish the story and get it over with. I was like already halfway through the game. I'm just like, you know what? Let's do this. I want to see the ending, and you know, with Square Enix actually posting that they are fixing a few things for the latter half of the game, adding more cutscenes and things like that. I don't know when that's coming out. It's supposed to come out with this big old patch that it's supposed to be this month. Not 100% sure with that, but it's supposed to be this month, and it's supposed to be a big old patch that, you know, gives you, you know, better graphics, but maybe a 60 frames per second on the PlayStation Pro and things like that. So they did talk about that. You know, I don't know if that's going to be in it, but so far we know for sure they're going to add more things to the latter half, more storytelling and things to the latter half of the game. So, but like I said, beat it, saw the ending. But the first thing I would say about the ending is it's a love and hate kind of thing. You know, I really loved it, what they showed off, but at the same time I'm not really you know, I guess you know, I'm a romantic. I love Final Fantasy 10-2, mostly with the good ending, not the ultimate ending or the, you know, whatever. I kept with the good ending. If you guys don't know what that is, go look it up and you'll know what it is. You'll see it, but I kept with that. So it's kind of in the realm of that, you know, Final Fantasy 10ish ending, but like I said, it's a love and hate kind of thing, and that's the only thing I'll talk about the ending. So far, with the half part of the game, it kind of, you know, my hype level was like this going in, and then as I played it, it kind of went down more and more until the very end, which got a little bit better. But the way to get to the ending really reminds me of something like Xenogears. The second half of Xenogears, Disc 2. After chapter, I want to say 11, or after chapter 10 or 11, that's when it just was pretty much a downhill, you know, downhill from there. It literally went downhill from there, and I wasn't too happy with it. Mostly in chapter 13. If you get to chapter 13, I want to say good luck with that. It's, you know, I saw people on forums, on NeoGAF and things like that. They were talking about, you know, this is a trash chapter and things like that. There's a lot of problems wrong with that chapter. I'm like, oh, it shouldn't be too bad, right? Shouldn't be too bad. Got to it, and it was just not fun at all. And hopefully everybody sees that and they could complain about that. There's probably a lot of people complaining already, and it's well worth a complaint. It's not good at all. The pacing itself, the game changes from being, you know, this open world in the beginning, and then it just becomes linear at the end, like towards the end of the game. It's just really weird. It's like opposite Final Fantasy 13. And at least you get to play around with that. When you beat the game, you do get the chance to go back to the open world part of the game, you know, where, you know, you get to do more hunts. Supposedly there's some secret dungeons you gotta do. I just got a quest for something. Supposedly there's like an earthquake that's going on, not earthquake but tremors, giant tremors, and I gotta go investigate that from Cindy. So we'll see what happens with that. I really don't know what I'm going to be doing with the game. I might just wait until the patch and see what that does, you know, with end game stuff. Post game stuff, once I start doing post game stuff, I'll probably do another video for that. I'm not, and I'll just talk about post game things. But so far, like I said, from the middle to the end, I have lots of problems with it. The ending to me was actually pretty cool. I mean, the main bad guy was, you know, I didn't really know until the very end. I was like, really? That's the main bad guy? But and the story doesn't, you know, flesh itself out good for you. I mean, I still don't know what the heck's going on. I actually had to go to YouTube and look up, you know, somebody's explanation of the whole story and why the main bad guy is doing this and doing that. The whole time I was playing the game, we went to like 3 to 4 different locations and I just don't know what the heck was going on. I literally didn't, and I didn't even know why you had to go and do these stuff until I watched the dude's video. Some guy on YouTube, he was talking about, you know, the Final Fantasy 15 ending and things like that. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, okay, now everything connects and it makes more sense. But playing through that whole story, I just didn't understand it at all. I don't know what happened. It's kind of one of those deal with, and it reminds me, like I said, it reminds me of Xenogears. The first half of the game, totally. Well, at least Xenogear wise, the first half of the game was like, you're like, oh my gosh, this game is awesome. And then the latter half was like, really, this is it? They ran out of money and they had to push this game out. I think it's kind of similar to Final Fantasy 15. You know, it's been in the making for so long. They just had to get this out and hopefully go to the next game. And, you know, Final Fantasy 16 or Kingdom Hearts 3. Probably not Kingdom Hearts 3 because they got Nomura's doing that. They just had to push it out and see what they have for the results for that. And so far, you know what? It's a mixed bag of you know, of good results and somewhat of, you know, bad results. For me, the good things that I taken out of this game is really the gameplay. I really enjoyed the gameplay. There are problems, and I talked about that already, like camera problems. I don't think I talked about this one, but enemies. When there's a ton of enemies on the field, when you're fighting a ton of enemies, you just cannot handle that. I feel like that you cannot handle that at all. Mostly if they got guys with guns just shooting at you, it's not fun. And then the camera, like I said, the camera controls has a problem when you're fighting in the camera is really meant for the outdoors area, the big rooms where you fight, you know, big bosses and things like that. When you're fighting in a closed room or next to trees or bushes, it just doesn't work well with that. It gets caught in the bush, you know, it pans out and then you're behind a bush, or you're in front of the bush and then it pans out behind you. You can't see anything. In corridors like that, in, you know, small tight spaces, same thing. It gets caught in the wall and things like that. It's just not fun. The gameplay, I do love the gameplay. I like the open world. You know, it's the first attempt at it, and I thought it went okay. It wasn't like, you know, coming from Witcher 3, and I love Witcher 3 to death. The gameplay itself, people have problems with the battle system. I don't have a problem with it. The gameplay itself, the world itself, played well into the gameplay, and that's what I liked about it. I was hoping for something like that. Maybe we'll see something like that in Final Fantasy 16, if they do make one, a Final Fantasy 16, or they take the same road as 15. You know, kind of just move that over to 16. Hopefully we'll see something like that where they could build up on that. I don't want them to you know, have this big open world and things like that and just not use it at all. And, you know, this Final Fantasy 16 it's its own you know, turn-based or something like that. I want to keep this kind of action-based open world game for the next Final Fantasy, and I'm going to get blasted for that. I do love my action RPGs. I do love my turn-based whatever, but I feel like just having as a action-based, it leans it better towards, you know, how flashy your thing looks. But like I said, hopefully they build up on that. Story needs a lot of fixing, and I already talked a whole lot about that. I just don't know what the heck's going on until I literally went and looked at YouTube and read comments, forums, things like that. And I finally got at least a grip of it, and I'm going to still need to do some more reading and more looking and, you know, kind of finding it for myself. The game doesn't tell you at all. It doesn't tell you. You're just like, okay, where am I going? Okay, let me go there real quick. Okay, cool. Let me go to the next area. Okay. And it just became that. And towards the latter half of the game, I just wanted to finish the game. I did not want to be in that part of the game anymore. I'm like, just finish it. I know the with the post game, you could go back to the open world, and I really just do that than do the latter half of the game, which it's a big problem because the latter half of the game is a big part of the game, and there's so many cool set pieces, and it falls apart. So I had fun with it. I mean, it was one of my hype games of the year. It probably will be my game of the year, but there were problems with the game. I mean, it's not a perfect game. It's not, for me, if I was to give it a review, it'll probably be like a 6 or a 7. I really enjoyed the gameplay. I really enjoyed how the game looks. I really enjoyed the world itself. The world is super awesome. I want to see more of this world. But they give you no context of the world at all. It's very just, okay, here's the world and that's it. There's no like you're living in this world. I would love to see more activities, more little things like that to make you feel like you're part of the world. And like I said, they need to take that into consideration and move that to the next game they're doing, because I want to. A lot of the Final Fantasy games made you feel like a part of that world. 7, it made me feel like I was in the Final Fantasy 7 world. 8 was the same thing to extent, I guess. 9, totally. 10, even to me, 10 is my favorite. Well, because it has the best scenery, with a lot of water area. To me, it was totally awesome. Made me feel like a part of the world. This didn't, because they had no context to why I'm in this world. It's just like, oh, hey, do this and do that and do this and do that, and lots of fetch quests and things like that. So, anyways, that's all my rant for the game. I've beaten it, had fun playing it. Now I can move on to the next game. And I don't know what that is. Maybe I'll do a discussion time for Watch Dogs, because that is top tier, and Watch Dogs 2, not Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs 2, and that would be my top one of the top tier games for me this year. So, like I said, had fun with the game. Leave comments on the bottom if you guys enjoyed the game. Tell me what you guys liked about it. Tell me what needs to be fixed, what you guys didn't like about it, and things like that. I already gave you guys what I really loved about it, and now I want to hear what people's reactions are to the game. Now that it's finally out after 8 years, 10 years, whatever, how many years, it's finally out, and now I can finally go and play Last Guardian and check it out, see what that is, how good that is. I hear a lot of mixed bags, but I'm probably more towards the higher end of the game, where I'm just here for the story. Control wise, I guess it's clunky, but I'm here for the story, and I heard it has a lot of it. So, anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Hit the thumbs up if you guys enjoyed, like my videos. And like I said, leave comments. I want to hear comments on what you guys thought about the game of Final Fantasy 15. Anyways, this is Omegabalmung. I'll see everybody next time on Discussion Time. Peace out.